ISO day 4. It's kind of raining out. So I got some work to do actually for Tragopan. And what I'm going to do is, I did actually have the Monal hide. I've been out with the Monal hide before this all kicked off, before we went in a lockdown. And I had it by a nearby lock, and I was trying to photograph golden eyes in the lock. But after we went in lockdown, plans kind of changed, and I haven't been out with a hide since. So now I'm going to set up Monal hide here in the garden, and this garden is ridiculously long. Actually, I don't actually know how long it is. I'm going to try and measure it. 20. That's about 20 meters long. Absolutely crazy. Well, that's really good because I want to put a hide down that end, because that's more or less south. So I'm just going to stand under this here. This is kind of raining right now. So I wanted to ask you guys another thing as well. I'm starting to question the walks that I do with the camera, because the guidance is, the lockdown is, you know, you go for an exercise. You can go out in nature for exercise. So I know for 100% that when I go out into nature here, I'm not causing any, I'm not increasing anybody's risk or my own risk, because there's nobody about. Like, at most I might pass a person or two in the village, but once I'm out in the hills, there's just no one, you know, and that would pretty much be the case even if this wasn't going on, except for the popular paths, but that's not really where I go. So it's not so much to do with that if you think that I'm increasing risk to myself or others by doing it. It's more about setting an example. I don't want to set a bad example, because I know there are people in cities and towns that you can't do this, and I don't want to encourage people to go out and mingle with more people while we're on this lockdown. So I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. I mean, what I'm doing is I am going for a walk, like an exercise, but I'm also filming it, and I'm kind of stopping in places to take photos. What do you think of that? Is that beyond what should I not be doing that according to the kind of lockdown measures that the government is taking right now? I am, for the next few days anyways, I'll probably be doing mostly in the garden. I'm going to head out for a walk today. I'll take you guys along, but it'll be very different. I'm not going to go for photos or anything like that. I'm going to pick up some material for this project for Tragopan that I'm going to be working on here. So it'd be interesting to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Are my daily kind of walking exercises a little bit, am I taking too many liberties there and setting a bad example by doing it, by filming it, and by stopping in loads of different places, even if I'm in an area where there's absolutely nobody about? So, you know, once I'm out in the hills, does it really matter if I stop, if I sit down, if I film myself walking to make a video? Am I setting a bad example? In which case, I will stop and I'll make videos from in the garden instead, because I do believe that this is something that is necessary to try and get past this. Try and put the burden off the NHS. But anyways, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be in the garden anyways, and for the next project, I need to do a video for Tragopan. A lot of you guys may know that I work for Tragopan. I do a bit of social media for them, and I also make YouTube videos using their photography gear in the field. So I was using the Monal V2 hide at a nearby lock to photograph golden eyes, geese, and other ducks that were there. But since we went in lockdown, I stopped doing that. And for the next project, I'm going to put up the Monal V2 here in the garden. We're going to do it a little bit differently though. Since we're coming into springtime and a lot of these birds will be building nests, well, I'm actually going to try and attract them by putting out nesting material for them. So on my walk today, I'm going to try and find items that I can take with me back here that might be good for birds that are nesting. And then we'll set the whole thing up. I'll set up the hide over here, I'll set up the nesting materials and where I want them to land in a good position that will allow me to get a good background. Obviously then I'll probably be shooting at 400mm f5.6, so then we just have to figure out how far away does my background need to be to the subject, and then how far away should I be then to basically get the kind of image that I want, a nice clean soft background, really blur out this hedge, and I'll just take it from there. So first off though, finish my coffee and then we'll go for a little walk and see if we can find some nesting materials. I remember last time I was walking up here, there was, I think it was a dead pigeon or something like that, so there's quite a bit of feathers lying about, and that could be good nesting materials for birds. I won't be able to see this with this camera. Unfortunately, I don't have anything else with me to show you. But a great spotted woodpecker just landed in the tree in front of me here. If it flies again, it'll probably call. They tend to call when they fly. If you can hear that very sharp call, chink, chink. It's a great spotted woodpecker. Maybe the size of a blackbird or something like that. It tends to fly in this up and down kind of way. It usually makes that call when it flies. They're quite a distinguishing bird when you first get your ear into it. I'm just taking bits of the kind of finer grass straws, the dead stuff from last year's, some of these thinner twigs here, and a bit of leaves and a bit of moss. I'm just piling it up, bringing it back home, and hopefully you can attract some birds to it and they can gather some nesting materials there. Big female, I don't know if you could see the smaller males clinging onto the back. Toads are really going at it. They're just everywhere. You gotta make sure you don't step on them. One of my favorite trees. Fortunately non-native to here, but they are really cool. It's a Douglas fir, and you can tell by these large kind of scars, grooves that they have on them, and also their cones have these little, almost like little snake tongues on them. think it's a tree more found to North America, and specifically in the Seattle area, Oregon, I think. Maybe somebody over there can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're really nice trees. I'm kind of glad we have them here. Massive. Alright, bit of a shorter walk today, but I got work to do. So, got a bag full of bit of nesting materials, a mixture of quite fine grass, bit of mosses, some small ferns, some feathers, and if I come across anything else very fine, very small, I'll pick that up as well. You know, if you have pets, you could use hairs and things like that. Now you guys can join me a little bit behind the scenes while I'm making a video for Tragopan. This is a bit different video today. Maybe just give you guys a little bit behind the scenes look of how I'm doing these videos for Tragopan. And do remember, check out the video for Tragopan. I'll be publishing this later this month, or depending how fast it goes, either the beginning of next month or later this month. And if you hurry up, check out last month's video for Tragopan, because there's a competition there where you can actually win one of these hides. It's not that one, it's a grouse pop-up hide. So yeah, check that out, because you could win a free hide. You have to do is just check out the last month's video. I'll put a link to it above, and just follow what you have to do in that video, and then you can be a part. Then you can have a chance of winning one of the hide. But you have to hurry up, because as soon as this publishes, we're going to be drawing from that. We're going to make the draw, and it's going to be from the comments within the video of who's going to win it. So hurry up and check that out, and I'm going to leave you now with some more photos from you guys from the hashtag Corvid Not COVID challenge. So enjoy these, and I'll see you tomorrow.